going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to go over a list of what I think the top 10 mods should be for a relatively stock 6.0 Powerstroke. Now this is a personal opinion and this is a personal preference, and the only thing I can do is tell you guys what I would do if I had a stock truck. So without getting too heavy into it, this is going to be results for a well-rounded truck. Something I feel like that you can daily drive, you can tow with, you can take it on road trips, go to the lake on the weekend, tow your camper, tow your boat, tow a horse trailer, you know, whatever it is you got to do and get it done. And do it reliably. So what we're going to basically start with on this list is going to be not necessarily cheap stuff, but it's going to be on your lower end. Stuff to get you started into building this truck to eventually work your way up to, you know, the big stuff. Big turbos, injectors, lift pumps, fuel systems, you know, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to touch on some of that stuff on this list, but for the majority, this is going to be rather inexpensive stuff that you can do right off the bat to get you started in one of these trucks and really make sure that it lasts and does good for you. So, nevertheless, let's get into it. We'll start off with number 1 and we'll work our way to the end. Okay, guys, number 1 on this list, maintenance. Maintenance. Listen, these are old trucks. They're really old. They're like 17 years old at the oldest, and you're still talking 13 years old at the youngest. That's old. Most of these trucks have well over 100,000 miles, most of them. Now, you have your exceptions, but most of these trucks are over 100,000 miles. And when I say maintenance, I'm not talking about just oil filters and fuel filters. I'm talking about your front end differential fluid, your rear end diff fluid, your trans fluid, trans filters, fuel lines, brake lines, brakes, everything. The entire truck. Wearable, consumable parts. Maintenance. First off, replace that stuff. If it's broken, fix it. If it's bad, fix it. If it's leaking, fix it. If it's worn out, fix it. Fix all of your problems first. If you don't fix the problems first, steering, brakes, all that, you are starting with a horrible platform. Fix it, make it reliable as it can be in its stock form. Then you can start modifying from there. That is your absolute best bet, and if you start with a good base, you will not be disappointed. Number 2 on this list, guys, custom tunes. So if you're like any other diesel truck owner, you want to tune it, right? Do not. This is a sin. This is the number 1 sin. Do not run canned tunes on your truck. They are horrible for it. They will destroy your transmission. They'll destroy your injectors, your entire fueling system. They are absolutely horrible for the truck. Buy an SCT X3, X4, GTX, whatever SCT device that you feel like you need to buy. Buy it and get custom tunes. There are a million different people that tune these trucks out there. Gearhead, Warren Diesel, Truck Source Diesel. There's Innovative Diesel. There are all kinds of people who tune these trucks. Get good quality custom tunes and you will not regret it. It is the life of your truck. Get a good tuner, be loyal to them, and they will take care of you in the long run. And they will take care of your truck. They are its livelihood. Number 3 on this list is a little tricky. We're talking about an EGR mod. So, in the world of diesel trucks today, everybody has to be politically correct. And we love extra emissions so much. Delete it. Get rid of it. You don't need it. Now, this coexists. 2 and 3 go together. You have to have number 2 to have number 3. Otherwise, you're going to get check engine lights. Otherwise, you're going to have little lights on your dash that nobody wants and nobody likes. So, we don't want that. We want to make sure that we have no check engine lights. We don't draw attention to anything. Okay, so number 4 on my list. Gauge monitoring. Doesn't matter if you use mechanical gauges, electrical gauges, if you want to put them on your A-pillar, if you want to put them on a touchscreen, put them in your dash, put them on your radio. It does not matter. You need them. The factory gauges in these trucks are dummy gauges. That's it. Your coolant temp gauge, it tells you if the truck's fixing to burn down or not. Same thing for your trans temp. Even your fuel level gauge. It's less than pleasing from the factory, to say the least. So when you get custom tunes, if you get something like an SCTX4 or an SCT-GTX, you can use them for your gauges. They usually have little suction cups. You can also put A-pillar mounts. You can mount one on the steering column. I've seen that done before. There are a million different ways to do it, but you need a set of gauges to know what your vitals are. S-Pro is the best gauge that I have ever run. Easiest gauge to install. It's just been the best setup for my truck. I love it, and I won't go to anything else. S-Pro is the company to go to. Okay, guys, number 5 on this list. An exhaust system and an intake. Now, stock chargers, trucks that you're going to be in dusty environments or anything like that, I recommend S&B intakes. They are quality. I have ran those on my personal trucks that were, daily driven trucks. Or relatively stock trucks with smaller chargers. That was the best intake I ever run. It's a sealed unit. It's really nice. You can do the Zoodad mod where you cut the radiator support out and it's feeding fresh air into that intake all the time. It's awesome. Now, as far as exhaust goes, 4 or 5 inch. I get this question a lot. Personally, it doesn't really matter. 4-inch pipe still flows enough air to make 4-digit power. At this point, it's just personal preference. Mod number 6 on this list is going to be a lift pump and a regulated return. I say this because the two work in conjunction with each other. If you are going to put a lift pump on, you're going to eliminate the factory pump on the frame rail underneath the cab. So, you're going to be pushing more air into one side of the head. These heads are a deadhead design. You've got fuel coming in one side and not out the other. Put a regulated return on it, man. It will help you so much in the long run. It'll keep your injectors alive, and especially when you're getting up in the bigger injector stuff, you have to have it. There's no questions asked. You just have to have it. So whether you're on stock injectors or whether you're on 350, 150 conventionals like me, put a regulated return on that truck. Your injectors will live, and it will save you so much money in the long run. Now, you have a couple options as far as a regulated return goes, and as well as a lift pump. Size them accordingly to your application. Most trucks will get away with a 160, 170 gallon an hour pump. That's a good average number. Most trucks enjoy that, and it will support up to 4-digit power. Number 7, big brakes. These trucks were so underrated with their brakes from 03 to 07. These things were absolutely miserable to drive, and they still are. I'm not even going to lie. The brakes are not big enough for what these trucks are capable of doing, whether that be speed, towing, or anything. They are not big enough. Now, your cheapest option with these trucks, move to a F450 or a F550 brake setup. But with that being said, you have to run at least a 20-inch wheel. Otherwise, your brake caliper will not clear the wheel. However, running the F450 and the 550 brakes is your cheapest, best option to get bigger brakes on these trucks. Aside from that, you're going to spend big money. You're going to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a set of brakes where you're running 6-piston calipers and billet hubs, things like that. It does get costly. Even at that, though, it is worth it. It all depends on how deep your pockets are at that point and how far you want to be invested into an older truck. Personally, I've just got some big drilled and slotted rotors on my truck with some good EBC yellow stuff pads, I believe. But that's a personal thing for me. I am going to a bigger brake setup. But like I said, guys, your F450, 550 conversion is the best and cheapest bet for these trucks. This list is going to be quality shocks. These trucks are old. They're not very forgiving. It's just old technology. So if you want to improve that ride, get a little bit better performance out of it, make that thing ride like a Cadillac, get a good set of quality shocks. My truck, I personally run Fox 2.0 reservoir shocks in the front and a Fox 2.0 IFP shock in the rear. Same shock as what's on the front. The rears just don't have reservoirs. Mine's a street truck, doesn't really tow anything, so I didn't see a need for those. But a similar setup as mine, as far as the front shocks and the rear shocks go, you're looking somewhere around $800. And I know that sounds pricey, but I can promise you the difference in what was on my truck, which were Ranchos when I got it, and what I've got now, the Fox shocks, it's night and day difference. This truck rides like a Cadillac now. So invest in a good set of shocks and you will not be disappointed, I promise. Number 9 on this list is going to be to update the lighting. And especially in a truck that's as big as these trucks are, you really need to be able to see, especially with the factory brakes being an issue, you want to be able to see what's in front of you so you can stop. There's just a million reasons as to why I feel like it's a good modification and a cheap modification to update your lights. You can get a set of drop-in LED bulbs for less than $100 that come with a warranty. Okay guys, number 10 on this list is probably the best one. A good mechanic. All jokes aside, find a good mechanic. If you don't do your own work, find somebody that you can trust to work on your truck. These trucks can be extremely temperamental, and sometimes they can be a real pain in the ass to try and figure out an issue or chase down a problem, especially if you're dealing with a high pressure oil leak. There's a lot of places that you can have a high pressure oil leak. And a lot of people don't know how to properly chase that down and diagnose that, so they end up chasing their tail. So find a good mechanic to work on your truck if you don't do your own work. Personally, I do all my own work. This is what I do for a living, and I enjoy building these trucks, and I enjoy working on these trucks. Okay guys, so that is my top 10 list of mods that I would do for an 03 to an 07 6.0 Powerstroke. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is just a personal recommendation. Not everybody is going to agree with this stuff. This is just what I feel is going to be the best all-around package for one of these trucks that's more towards stock and you want to modify your truck. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram at short6slow. You guys are welcome to comment here, and I will try and get back to you and comment back as many times as I can and reach out to as many people as I can. If you guys will do me a favor and please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you guys can see when I upload new content. It helps me bring better content to the channel. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys have any kind of ideas, if there's things that you have questions about, let me know, and I look forward to trying to help you guys along your journey with these trucks. And I look so forward to bringing you better content. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon.